It looks like people are popping in. Jeans on. Rhonda's watching. Hello, Rhonda.
Hello, everyone. Have you noticed we have a new system? We let a few customers, friends, join and just be able to get set up so that we're not surprising you in mid-sentence.
We should do like a drum roll or something, because
I know.
all of a sudden we just walk on.
I know, it's a little weird. A little weird. Well, notice that I have some friends with me today. I have Alex, daughter Alex Woodbury, and I have Samantha Plow. And we have just returned from London. England. Yeah, I had to think a minute. Let's see, that was like 4 days ago, that's a long time.
We've been hanging out for a while.
I know, but we all had jet lag like yesterday.
Yes.
Finally, it kind of hit us. Poor Samantha both of you had to fly from somewhere else to get here, because we are starting in Kansas this evening, our first one of the year, and it'll go through Friday. So we're welcoming 10 lovely ladies, most of whom we've never seen. So that's going to be kind of fun to see what we're up to. It might be a challenge, and we'll see.
Hopefully we inspire some new sewers.
So I wanted to start off by just this quick little review of the highlights of our London trip. So we landed in London, and we got on a coach bus, and we went to a small village called Goodnestone, about 2 hours south of London, correct? Is that the direction that we went?
Southeast.
Southeast. Okay.
Yeah.
Southeast.
It's in an area called Kent, and so it's by the sea, but there's little towns all over there. We went to Canterbury, we went to Rye, there's like Whitstable up there, and very countryside.
Yes, and we rented a country mansion.
It
had 12 bedrooms and beautiful living rooms, studies, dining room, and then our studio was set up in probably a stable.
Yeah,
formerly
it was a stable
house.
where they put the carriages.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And Mandy Patullo, who's a textile artist, was our teacher for 5 days, and I loved it.
You did.
We all loved it.
Mandy.
Yes.
Well, I love Mandy. This is my third class with her. And
it's my fourth.
Oh, wow.
Really? Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Mandy, we took workshops from her, but then when I lived in London, Mandy lives in Newcastle, so she would come near London sometimes, and I met her for 2 workshops in like the middle of nowhere, England. So.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that. Yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm. And your first time.
My first.
And Samantha didn't even know what she was getting into.
No.
She just went because it was,
I didn't even read the itinerary.
No.
I just showed up.
But we want to show you just real quickly our little textile collages. So let me grab them. You want to grab yours?
Yes. If you're a So Confident member this year, we did have some bonus content for you last week where we filmed a video with Linda, myself, and Mandy. And we actually interviewed Mandy, so that was kind of a perk, and that is a perk of So Confident this year, is a little bonus content video. It was about 30 minutes, and we walked through the studio and showed you guys what everyone was working on. So we're going to give you a little sneak peek now. And is anyone finished? I guess you have.
Well, all of us finished our bags.
Basically, we're doing 3 projects. And Mandy, every day, would put out new baskets of vintage textiles. Unpicked, as she calls them. We call it ripping. Unpicked from old quilts, like in the 1800s, old. And then baskets of just scraps and bits of things, laces, cottons, just all kinds of things. So
Embroidered flowers
Exactly.
that she's cut out.
So the first day was making a collage. Well, the first day was actually learning how to unpick a quilt, because you can take off the top and the bottom fabric and sometimes have 6 more layers in there of even more wonderful fabrics. You never know. So we did that the first morning, and then we were making a collage, and which would ultimately turn into a little bag. So here's my little bag of several vintage quilt fabrics, but Alex's was so cute that she decided not to make the bag and just did a wonderful little hanging. Is that what you're going to do with it? Mm-hmm. Hang it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you made your bag.
Yes.
So this was our first day's project. And then the second day, we were inspired by an artist by the name of Winifred Nicholson. And she's a very famous British artist. And her work is kind of ethereal, very soft, almost blurry. But a lot of her images are vases and flowers. So that was essentially what we did the second day. So I actually drew on my fabric an outline of the manor estate, the mansion that we stayed in, and then worked some collage. And we were introduced to embroidery stitches on the second day. So that was my little piece. And you can tell we're all very different. And of the women who were sitting in the class, everyone's work was just completely different. It was fantastic. So, was that your second? That's your second day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
My bouquet.
And I didn't bring my third day because I'm not done. Did you bring your third day?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Oh my gosh.
The third day was
Seed.
I
Seed.
forgot because
What's
it's
it
a little
called?
different. Seed heads.
Seed heads.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yes.
I didn't know what a seed head was officially.
Right.
I didn't understand because it looks like flowers to me.
Yeah. But she brought a totally different palette of colors, although I noticed you guys still stayed with some brights. Alex did a really interesting thing of doing embroidery stitches kind of over the whole thing, as if it's kind of shadowed behind the stitches, which I thought was really interesting. And we learned how to embroider different kinds of flowers, like a thistle.
The thistle. That's
a
the thistle.
A teasel, as she calls it, yes.
Most of the class is kind of interpreting Mandy or the British way of speaking versus the American way of speaking. So we had to often just kind of wonder what she was saying.
Because she kept saying plique, and I thought, what is a plique? Like a pleat?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Applique.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And once again, I've come home using the word lovely all the time.
And bits.
And bits.
And bloody.
And blood. Exactly. Anyway, we had fun. We then went back to London, and it was London Craft Week, and we participated in a variety of workshops. And Samantha and I attended a workshop that was hosted by Kit Kemp, who's a very famous interior designer and owns the Ferndale hotels in London and in New York. And they're fantastic interiors. If you are interested in a very eclectic, artistic, just a mixed look of interiors, you'll like that designer. And then we took a class from a friend of hers,
Eppie Thompson, Fabled Threads.
Yes.
It's
a great company you should check out. And then
I took a group to the east side of London to an embroidery artist named Lydia Bolton. So you can follow her on Instagram, but she's a young, kind of up-and-coming fashion designer. She works with it's a lot with sustainability, and she teaches embroidery on how to kind of upcycle clothing, how to mend things with embroidery. So we took a group out there to some studio spaces in London.
And then we had one day of fabric shopping in London, a couple of fabric stores. So, we had a good time. Yeah. It was almost not quite, but 10, 11-day trip. And thanks to all the women who went on this trip with us. They were a fantastic group, and we had great food, and the whole thing was just wonderful. Yeah. So, enough of London, but I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I feel like I'm a little out of sync here. What'd you say?
Desserts. We had a lot of desserts.
Yeah, we had a lot of desserts.
Because in England, you have cake all the time. You have it for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, basically.
And afternoon. Remember with the coffee?
Right.
Or tea,
Tea.
not
Yeah.
afternoon?
If you ate all
Yeah.
of the sweets, you would eat it like 4 times a day.
And we were there for the coronation, which was fun.
Yes.
Not in London, but in England.
Right.
So
So
it was
we
very
kind of
festive.
watched it on an iPad as we were stitching, which was pretty fun.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah. All right, so this is May, and as you know, we always have a So Confident project, new one every month. And these two gals are wearing this month's project. We've taken the eTee pattern, which is a very simple, basic t-shirt. It's our probably most basic t-shirt. And we've done some things to it. So you guys stand together. I'm just going to talk a little bit. Samantha has on some strings.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's from my projects,
from your
my
project.
Mandy project.
Strings
So-
and lights.
Yes.
Yeah, the lesson here, there's quite a few lessons actually, but to me the primary lesson of this month's video is how to work with a knit fabric that does not have spandex, which means there's no recovery. And that creates new issues of how to handle the fabric. So these two garments are made out of a waffle weave knit. It's kind of gutsy and yet it's drapey at the same time. When you throw it in the washing machine, it shrinks a lot. It doesn't change character particularly, but it does shrink. And so in the kits that we have prepared, there's not lots, but there's enough extra fabric to allow for the shrinkage. So everyone is getting 2 yards when you probably only need about 1.5 yards. But we just want to make sure that everyone has adequate fabric. So I talk about how to manage this fabric in the video. And it's all about stabilizing, using the right products. When Alex and I were developing the project, we were working on it together in Cleveland. We actually worked with about 6 different fusible, stabilizing kinds of products and found the one that we thought worked the best. And so that's included in the kit this time, in addition to some thread and a secondary fabric. So turn around. So we've taken the eTee and we've added a yoke, another little thread there, a yoke and this loose panel. It does sew into the arm's eye on the right-hand side and in the neckline and the shoulder seam, but it is loose and meant to be. So you have a woven back primarily, and then the knit overlay. We've lengthened the sleeve from the original eTee. We're using the same ready-to-wear neck binding technique.
I feel like I need to
We've
stand
lengthened it. We've
like this.
cut it off straight instead of the normal curved hem. So there's some pattern work to be done, as is the concept for this year's work, actually. It's So Confident. So I'm pretty crazy about this. I think, from the front it looks like a nice white t-shirt, but in the back, you've got some interest and some color. We have 3 kits. The pink and white stripe is one kit. The green and white stripe is another kit. And then we have a blue stripe, which actually has a little bit of a peachy pink stripe to it. But all of them are linen, and all of them are stripes, vertical stripes.
It's nice and light and breezy. This would be a great t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I maybe missed you saying this, but I did lengthen mine 2 inches specifically, and mine is intentionally a little bit oversized.
Right.
So you can, make it oversized or not.
Yeah, Samantha's fits perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
Yours is meant to be oversized. So it's a little more drop-shouldered, a little fuller in the body, as was intended.
Which is a style now
Yeah.
for your age.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're wearing yours with jeans.
The pants I always wear.
Yes.
The Valencias.
And Sally Peterson has already commented that she made her project with some floral pants and posted it on the private Facebook page. And so she's ready to go, and you guys could be twinsies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that.
While you're standing here and seeing your shoes, I want to let's go back to London for just a second, because let's talk fashion for just a second. So I want each of you to give me the one little fashion note that you took from your trip to London, whether it was from the window shopping that we did or the looking at some racks or observing people on the streets or whatever. So Alex, what did you discover?
Well, I have two. So my first one is in Liberty, London, which is the best store in the world. What I noticed was there was a whole floor of bright floral dresses. So Farm Rio, Rixo, and The Vampire's Wife.
Yes, you're right.
Major brands. I asked the lady who worked there, she said, oh, Vampire's Wife is going like crazy. So check out Vampire's Wife. It's wild stuff. They have like puff sleeves, really interesting lines, but mostly it's all about these prints. So it's pretty crazy. Second thing I noticed was this thing called, what is it called? Quiet luxury. So things that are kind of understated. So it's not so much about screaming brand names, big graphic logo tees, but it's kind of about understated looks, which is sort of different than the dress thing, right? But quiet luxury, so very minimalist looks.
I remember walking down the street and looking at some window, and there was this beautiful pantsuit, traditional jacket, notch collar lapel, drapey pants, and they were all in this color of white. And I remember commenting to Alex, you would look great in a totally white suit. So that's kind of one of the ideas that you were talking about, as opposed to the screaming print.
Yeah. Brands that do that really well right now are brands like The Row, Max Mara, and Fear of God. So those are just a few brands I saw a lot of. And so it was just kind of, you would maybe walk past someone on the street and they might be wearing, luxury brands, but you wouldn't know because they don't have the logos all over the place. So it's very, very timeless, very elegant. Yeah. So.
How about you? What did you notice?
I feel like I saw the people and the hotels as being much more bold. They're not afraid of color there. I saw a all purple suit. She didn't have a shirt on under it. It didn't seem, but it was just, maybe it's because of the London streets or whatever, but it just seemed like there was a lot more bolder choices in shoes, clothing, interiors. The hotels seemed very homey because of all the fabrics and finishes,
Yeah, the purple suit might have been worn with orange shoes, for example.
Yeah, or sneakers.
Yeah.
Trainers, right.
So that's my observation.
Right.
So those of you who follow me know that I wear
Sneakers.
Casual sneakers almost every day. And I've been collecting my sneakers for a few years now. But the one thing I noticed in London is that the style of sneaker is different. And so this is the style that people are wearing now. So my more flat, regular shoes aren't in anymore. I might have to start over.
Oh, no.
Well, this is my shoe.
Yeah, this is your shoe. But because I don't have any, I have to start over. But I grew up with the idea that this kind of casual canvas was a tennis shoe, whether you played tennis or not. But all those kinds of shoes were called tennis shoes. So over the last few years, I have learned to correct that to sneaker. Now, they're trainers. Mm-hmm. Everyone in London called their tennis shoes, I have to think of what it is, trainers.
Yeah.
So now I have to go out and get some trainers that look like running shoes. It's based on a running shoe style. So anyway, shoes, and people could be wearing the purple suit or the white suit
with these,
the luxury garment, and this shoe.
And they come looking dirty.
Yes, purposely are dirty. The dirtier, the more expensive.
It's crazy.
Because they're like hand dirtied. Dirtied by hand.
We pay extra for the dirt.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway.
I just wore those on Sunday with a bright white dress with bedazzled jewels. So, with a dress I wore shoes like that.
Yeah, that's right. And so we've had this whole discussion about what are real shoes. And
so in the comments, while you're at it, why don't you tell us what you would define or what you would consider a real shoe? Let's take a little poll here in the comments. So when we say who is wearing real shoes, well, what would you consider quote unquote real shoes? And that's all we'll give you.
Yeah, and I think we represent the possible what is real shoe thing here between Samantha and you. No. Samantha has on leather shoes with a heel. You have on trainers. Okay, so there you go.
And so do you.
I have on the old sneakers.
Yeah.
The flat old sneakers. You have on the trainers. You have on leather.
So what style of shoe would be considered a real shoe?
Yeah. So which is the real shoe?
And would you be bold enough to wear trainers with your suits?
Right.
Or dresses.
Or dresses. Or your summer pants, your flowy pants, or whatever. Okay. All right. I'm excusing you two for the moment.
Kicking us out.
Kicking me out.
Do you want to know what people are saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shoe comments. So we have actually quite a few that say ballet flats. Real shoe is leather with a thinner heel.
Yeah.
We had that conversation. Swedish clogs. I have noticed that that's become popular again. And things that aren't sneakers or trainers would be real shoes. Anything with an ankle strap. Regina, a real shoe is whatever you are comfortable in. I like that.
Nice,
That's
Regina.
individualistic. I like that.
Yeah.
Colored sneakers. Anything comfortable. Trainers.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah, that conversation came up before dinner one night, and this couple said, "Oh, we were noticing in London how many people wore real shoes," and I interpreted it a totally different way than they interpreted it. So it just brought up a whole. You can probably guess what I would say would be a real shoe, but my mom actually agreed with me.
Yeah.
So,
but then I rethought it later, thinking, I think I was wrong. I do that a lot.
You're not
about
wrong.
all the everything
never
I say,
wrong.
I rethink the next day and go, oh, that was wrong. It's my
Never.
okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
That's fun. All right. So today we're talking about pretty much what I have on, because it is mid-May in Kansas and it is time to think about summer. And so I am wearing summer weight fabrics and styles that represent something that will carry me now through the next few months. I have on the Cottage shirt, which to me is the classic summer camp shirt, elevated with some nice details, and I have on Picasso pants. Now, I have, as you know, 10, 12 pairs of Picasso pants. But last summer, you may remember, I made a pair or two in cotton gingham, a fabric that I would never have recommended to anyone because I wouldn't have thought there would have been enough drape. But after wearing them, I realized that that kind of fabric that has a little bit of body to it was perfect for the Picasso pants. It holds the shape. There's still enough air flow through the pants that you feel very comfortable. And so I put together this ensemble to show you how I feel like I can keep this on today and welcome my So Kansas friends tonight for our first trunk show. And I can wear this during the day at work. I can wear this at home. And these pants particularly are the kind of pants that are going to be probably my basic pants all summer. One of the other influences that I picked up and have picked up now in some travels this year is that I'm not seeing quite as many black pants. Now I know that's like, oh my gosh, how can you live without black pants? And of course you can't. But neutrals have really replaced, for a time being, those black pants. Camel, milk chocolate, what are some, just cream, yeah, neutral, brown toned pants, I'll put it that way, have kind of replaced the black pants for the moment. So I pulled this fabric out right here. This is cotton. It's actually a cotton shirting. One of the things I love most about this fabric is that it has this characteristic of like onion skin. I hope that brings up some sort of an image. It's hard for me to describe. It is a stable fabric. It feels like a shirting, but there's something about the texture that has that onion skin type texture to it. has a little bit of a pinstripe that's horizontal off the bolt, but when making the pants, put horizontal on the Picasso pants in the front and the back, but the side panels are run vertically. So you don't have to match anything. And that makes the Picasso pants go really fast to make. The waistband is flat across the front, which I like very much. It has a tuck on each side, so there's a little bit of fullness there. And then elastic around the waist. And there are lantern shapes, and so the lantern portions at the bottom are run vertically and horizontally, just the opposite of what it's attached to. So I am super comfortable. I don't even know I have these on. They are light and airy, and they're the kind of color that goes with a lot of things. One of the things that's sitting on my cutting table at home is a knit fabric in that charged red-orange, that hot color that's everywhere now. And yet, this is the kind of thing I can put that eTee in white and mix it with a linen, just like these girls have on, and I know that these pants will go with so many things. So then I found this fabric, which is, I feel quite elegant in this fabric. This is viscose rayon. Feels like a beautiful, beautiful refined cotton. Also has some characteristics of silk, but it's easy to sew, and it has some drape to it. And I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful fabric. If I were to dress this up, I might put it with some flowy white pants, but for casual wear, I'm going to put it with the color of the season. One of the things I love about the Cottage shirt is I like having a collar and stand. I'm of the age when I'm a little more sensitive about my neck, and I like having a little something up here, and yet it's open, so I'm still cool. We have a tutorial that's called Collars and Stands. There are actually two methods of applying a collar and stand. One is you assemble the collar and the stand and you attach it to the garment. The other one is you attach the stand to the garment and then you insert the collar. Two completely different ways, and that tutorial has both of those techniques in it. One of the most key things that's happened to me, though, recently is that I make a little tiny template out of tagboard, and it has the shape of the stand. This curve that is always difficult. And it's more difficult to get both of them the same. I can always get one perfectly, and the other one is maybe a little different shape. But if you use a template, this is the shape of the stand minus the seam allowances. So I can just draw this shape, and then I have a guide to stitch on my stands. And ever since I did this, my collars and stands look really good. So this is in that tutorial. So check out that tutorial. That'll be on sale for the next week. But that's the key element of a good collar and stand. For those of you who have a little more girth to your upper arms, this can be a little tight on some people. But because of the construction of the side seams, you can actually sew this to a different size. You could, let's say I have on a small. I could actually have an opening that's a size large or an extra large or whatever, because I've stopped my stitching at the side seam at a dot, and then I can cut the band to the other size, another size that fits the opening size. I could have a size large band on it or an extra large band or whatever. I love the very deep hem. Here's the top stitching line for the hem, and I like that weight that this gives. It gives it, I think, a more quality look rather than a small little hem that everything has. This is a very, very pretty hemline with a vent. So, Cottage shirt. This is my summer shirt, and I have probably 10 more in lots of different fabrics as well. But I want to talk to you about something that comes up a lot on the Picasso pants. I like a pocket, and because the pants have a front panel, a side panel, and a back panel, that you think at first glance there's no opportunity for a pocket. So for one pair of pants, I simply put a patch pocket wherever I wanted it, straddling these two seams, and it covered a portion of the side panel. But there is a technique to make inseam pocket in this front seam. And it's the perfect placement. So I'm going to kind of give you the overview of how to do that. Oops. I hit myself on the head there. So before you start taking notes and pictures and all of that, if you order the Picasso Pants pattern, this tutorial, which is not only these drawings but instructions as well, will be in your account. So be sure and order this in your account. Don't just order it not using your account. So it starts with, first of all, you have 2 pocket pieces for each side. And with the right sides together, you're going to sew the first pocket to the front, and you're going to stop at the 5/8 inch dots at the top and the bottom. You're going to trim that seam between the dots and then clip into the dots. Then you're going to bring that pocket piece out. All the seams are coming this way towards the pocket, and you'll understitch. Now, understitching means that you are sewing through the pocket and the seam allowance as well. So you're giving that a really nice edge. And then that pocket turns under. So now the pocket is over here, and now you will top stitch this. And that keeps that opening edge of the pocket really crisp and nice, and it's never going to come out of place. So then you take the second pocket piece, attach it to the first, finish that with the serger, and then you will attach the entire assembly to the second piece. In this case, it's the side panel, and that's your, I'll call it side seam. And there's the this opening is hidden under there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful finish. You don't even know it's there, and yet you have that pocket available for that slouchy look, that how you stand, you know, like a model. So this whole technique is in the tutorial and part of your Picasso purchase. Now don't be alarmed. The Picasso pattern is available as a print pattern and a digital download pattern. Everyone will get this tutorial with the purchase of the Picasso. Even if you order the print version, this will be a digital download. So don't think that you've ordered the download pattern by mistake. You just have this secondary tutorial also in your account. Did I say that clear enough, do you think?
Right, and what if they already own the Picasso?
Then you go back to your account, and this will be in your account if you have a Picasso purchase in your account.
Correct.
Yeah. So everybody gets it. All right. Any questions? Sure.
Where do you suggest placing the pocket? How far down from the waistline?
That is in the tutorial, and right off the top of my head, I think it's 1 7/8 inches from the top, something like that. 1 5/8 or 1 7/8, but that's in that tutorial of where to place it. Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to put that pocket in a different garment, let's say a pair of pants like the Hudson pants that have a cut-on waistband, you'll have to figure that out. Do a little more math on that. This pocket can work in jackets, tops, pants, skirts, dresses, whatever. So it's a great technique. We have written it for the Picasso Pants, but you can adapt it to any other pattern.
Okay, I don't see any
That's
questions.
it? Okay. All right, so come on back, because we want to talk about what else works with this particular pants fabric. This is a fabric that we've had for a while, I have to admit, and we've made numerous tops out of it, and we love it. But it wasn't until we made the Picasso Pants that I thought, oh my gosh, why didn't we do this like
I know.
a while
It
ago?
looks
Because I just love it.
fantastic.
So this is the pants fabric right here, and obviously this is the fabric that I have on. Now, just so I won't forget, if you order 2 yards of this minimum, 2 yards of this minimum, we're going to give you the buttons that will coordinate. Is it 5 buttons or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons that will go with this for your cottage shirt. So that'll be free.
Today only.
Today only. Thank you.
Yes.
So are they
Has
buying
to be
both
Tuesday.
Fabrics.
They have to buy both fabrics.
Tuesday before midnight.
Correct.
That's right.
Central Time.
2 yards, 2 yards. Today, you get the free buttons. All right. So everybody here, plus Deb, selected their favorite fabric to go with this, to also go with this fabric. Of course, this is my favorite. Do you guys like this fabric?
I love it. You know,
It's-
you were saying it's a viscose, but it almost looks like a nice polished cotton.
I
It feels
know.
like it.
I know. It doesn't feel
I'm
like this.
surprised. It's
It feels like polished cotton, and yet polished cotton can be stiffer, so this has the drape of
Yes.
viscose. I think it could feel like silk, and it's not.
and it's a little bit shiny.
A
Look how
little bit.
silky.
It has a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
It looks like one of those Farm Rio or Vampire Diary
Yes.
Does it
dresses.
really?
Shirts.
And we had a meeting yesterday, and Betsy said, "Can Samantha just whip up a dress for tomorrow?" I mean, it would be a
Sure.
great dress.
No
Nice
problem.
Fabric, something.
All right, well, let's start with Deb, since she's not here. So Deb selected this fabric to go with the pants. And I asked her what she liked best about it, and she loves nature. She does a lot of gardening. She works in her yard a lot. And so this is an English cotton double gauze, organic cotton double gauze. And so it has that beautiful, soft feel to it. And I think just the vegetation is really beautiful. The black background with the peach tones, brown tones, soft greens, and gray blues. I think it's really beautiful. So that's Deb's favorite. And I bet you she'll be using it for something, knowing her. So Alex, what's yours?
And honestly, this looks good together.
Yes.
Both of those. But I picked this for obvious reasons. It's pink and it has birds. So I'm a sucker. And flowers. So it's like three of my favorite things. But this is 100% cotton. It's called Blush Crane Island. And I just thought it looks great.
You know, these do look good together. This is the kind of thing we saw all over London. The mixed prints like
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Bold, as you
Yeah.
know.
When you said bold, you didn't necessarily mean neon.
No, like
Bold prints. The scale works. This is a smaller scale. This is a larger scale.
I think you could do a cottage shirt here in the pant. I mean,
Wouldn't that be fun?
Picasso.
pants here. Mhm.
Yeah.
or your Valencia.
Or
Right.
Valencia. Mhm.
Both of these fabrics are from England. We have a new resource in England, and they're fabrics that you just can't find just any place. They're really beautiful.
But this is nice and cool too. So this could be
Yeah.
worn for a long time in the hot summer.
Yes. Plus, I think it can go into fall because of the
Right,
color.
right.
Yeah. But looks,
Oh wow,
yeah.
it's amazing.
All right. Shall we do the big reveal now?
Reveal. You ready?
All right. So, Erin, you get to talk now.
So my choice was the teal paisley print below. I just think it was a nice pop. I love the peaches and the pinks and everything, but just to see that bold, turquoise, but then the more subtle floral print, I thought that was really fun, and it really just made a statement with the neutral pants.
This has the flavor of a, I knew I'd lose the word, paisley, and yet you don't find paisleys of that scale very often. Usually paisleys are too bold, too big, too leafy, whatever. This is a nice scale.
And
And
there's
this has an interesting texture to
Texture,
it, which
yeah.
I can't really describe. It's a,
It's not a piqué, but
no,
it's almost
it's a
right?
Dobie. What's my word? Dobie?
I don't know.
We did
Adobe?
have some Adobe weave.
Dobie weaves, yeah. But there's a little bit of a raised texture to it, so it's printed on that. It is a printed fabric, but yeah.
So this is Erin's choice, right?
That's Erin's choice, which I think is really interesting because you're
Yes.
right. Putting a bold turquoise with that is spot on, and that's cotton, I think.
It says textured
I
cotton.
think it goes with
All right.
this too.
So this is an Italian fabric, pure cotton, pura carton.
Yes.
Oh, Catherine Wood said Dobby, D-O-B-B-Y.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate. Yes.
Yeah.
Dobie weave,
It's beautiful. Turquoise paisley is what it says.
turquoise paisley. All right.
Okay. And then mine.
And this is yours.
This is me. That's me.
So this is linen, not cotton.
Yep.
And I love how abstract it is. But that's interesting too. This is pinker than this. I noticed on the screen when I was looking that this appears to be a little darker. Think of light milk chocolate. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is in real life.
But when you said that to me originally, I thought, but in person, this looks so much nicer than milk chocolate.
I know. Don't you think it has a sort of onion skin Japanese sort of
I can't
flavor
describe
to it?
it.
I know, it's very interesting. It has a little bit of a crinkle to it, meaning like a plissé. It's very, very faint. And so I purposely wore these. Sometimes I'll change clothes when I come here to do Facebook Live. But today I purposely put these on, wore them in my car, sat at my desk, and I don't think they look particularly wrinkled.
No.
Or if they do, it's the same kind of wrinkle that's...
Neither fabric looks wrinkled.
Yeah, exactly. I had the seatbelt on, the whole thing. And I feel just as fresh as when I started. But I love this abstract confetti kind of look and the blush pink with this color. That's a little more peach than pink when you compare it to this. This is almost a light mauve. So those are our selections for the day. Any other questions?
Let's go back to the eTees. We had a couple questions about the So Confident project.
Okay.
So what sizes are you guys wearing?
All right, so Samantha is wearing a small. You're going to have to help us with this because here's one of the changes that's happened on the eTee. The original eTee was sized by number. Correct. So this was a 1.5, and this was a 3.5. 0.5. So what does that relate to now? Because we've changed the sizing.
We did. We updated the sizing to extra small to XXL and then 1X to 5X. And so Samantha is wearing a small, and then Alex is wearing an extra large.
Extra large, okay.
And they fit differently. So we talked about this a little bit, but there was a couple questions about how, fitted versus oversized.
Right. This is more fitted, this is more oversized.
Mm-hmm. So Samantha, is that the size that you would wear normally?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Especially, you should tell them, I lost 43 pounds, so...
Right. Tell them,
I am very excited to be able to wear so small.
And then Alex, what size would you normally?
In the eTee, probably wear a large, so it's probably maybe one size bigger than what I would normally wear. But
So I know there was kind of a debate on what you should do. Like, should you make it oversized? Should you make it more fitted?
Right.
And so we had some questions about that even a couple weeks ago. So
now, even if you want it more fitted in the body, you could still narrow the shoulders if you don't want it off your shoulder. That's something that may need to happen as you move up a size for other oversized issues, and then you want the shoulders to fit.
Right.
Yeah. But I think you make both. You make one that's somewhat like this, and then you make another, and those are two different looks.
Right, exactly.
Well, in the features of this kind of reconstructed eTee, we did intentionally box it out too, so it is in general a boxier fit. I lengthened mine, but we did lengthen it anyway, and then we did lengthen the sleeves. So, the kind of concept of the May project for So Confident already is to have it be kind of boxed.
The original eTee is shaped, and these are straight. We've straightened it.
And the hem is different, and we've done certain smaller things to the pattern.
It's more current.
But don't forget that the eTee now includes sizes 1X through 5X. That's a new addition. As will our upcoming patterns. That'll be a standard for us now.
Yeah, there's a separate project for 1X to 5X, and then the updated sizing for the extra small to extra large. Yeah. And it does have a new neckline, a little bit
dropped,
lower,
about half an inch.
Right, because originally it was designed for Kathy, who wanted it a little higher.
Yeah,
so
right.
we did take it down just a little bit. Yeah. So, Samantha, they do want to know how you lost the weight. If that's an okay question.
That's a longer story for another time, but it's almost been a year. It's taken me a year, so.
What is the difference between the eTee and the swing tee?
The eTee is what I call a semi-fitted t-shirt with a round neck, crew neck. And as we said, it has some shape to it, but it's a semi-fitted t-shirt. The swing tee has a larger neck opening, and it definitely fits to the bust, but then it is generous in the hips and swings. That's the name. And it's longer.
And the sleeves are longer in the swing
Yes,
tee.
that's true.
Alex, who was the artist or the designer that you did the workshop with in London?
Yeah, the artist I did the workshop with, her name is Lydia Bolton, Lydia Bolton, Bolton. So.
Someone, Elaine Hockley, said she thought that your top, Linda, would look great with your pink pants, which was your
Everything looks good with my pink pants.
ultimate pants last year.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
Well, it would go with black pants. It would go with white pants. I mean,
Yep.
this fabric is
I know. There's
Special.
lavender in it, peach, or orangish things, black, brown. I mean, it's, yeah.
Is there a tutorial about making the sleeve bands wider
for the
for
cottage.
the cottage?
No.
Is the collar and stand tutorial part of a specific So Confident series?
No. That's a standalone tutorial that you can purchase at any time. Now, I will say this. Back in the day when we were doing PDF So Confident tutorials rather than videos, it would have been part of a year, maybe 10 years ago or something like that. I can't remember exactly which year, but you could Google collars and stands in your So Confident memberships, and it would come up. So a few of you might have it.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions.
All right. So all of these fabrics are on sale for the next week. If you order this combination, the rayon print, 2 yards minimum, and the cotton for the pants, 2 yards minimum, we will also include 6 buttons that you can use for the cottage shirt or whatever you want.
Today only.
Today only. You're right. Obviously, the rest of the fabrics, these other 4 fabrics, are on sale as well. The patterns that are on sale are the cottage shirt, both print and digital, correct? And the Picasso pants, both print and digital. And then the collars and stands tutorial is on sale, plus the DIY pants fitting tutorial. You know, how much ease to allow in your pants, how to make some modifications to, well, how to measure yourself basically, and how to measure your pattern to make sure you're making the right size. Everybody who orders anything today is going to get our brand new pen that just walked in the door today, the little logo of the Sewing Workshop, little rose gold and gray pen, ballpoint pen. And you'll get one of these nice pens today if you place an order today. I'm covering up the logo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Having trouble focusing on the logo, but it is there. Just looks like a white fuzz, but
Yeah. Okay.
It's a great pen. And it has that thing on the
I know.
nub.
Nobody can think of what this is
Pointer, but it's not a pointer.
for your iPad.
Touch
Yeah, whatever.
thing.
Anyway, we have kits for the eTee project this month that includes the waffle weave and one of the 3 striped linens.
sorry.
That's all right.
Stylist.
Stylus.
Betsy coming in with the wind.
Yes, this has a stylus on it. Woo. All right.
We do have a couple more questions.
Okay.
Try not to interrupt again. So for the with the lavender and orange stripe that you're wearing, would it work with cool tones?
Would it work with cool tones?
Like, would you pair it with?
Sure. All right. So to me, cool tones would be the lavender kinds of soft purple lavender. I mean, I consider this kind of a cool milk chocolate, actually. I think it would be good with cream And a pale, let's see, the yellow tones wouldn't be cool. I don't know, I'd put that, I think it'd be really beautiful with this lavender, purple, soft purple gray.
Yes.
Something like that.
I would have to make a broad back adjustment and wondered if the eTee new design would be flattering.
Sure. I do a broad back adjustment on all my patterns. That's just a standard thing on any garment. Doesn't matter the style, really.
Or what about a high round back adjustment?
Oh, high round back.
There's two different comments here.
Sure. All of those adjustments are totally appropriate for whatever garment you're making, and particularly the eTee. Sure.
Did you lengthen your cottage?
I did not. This is the length. This is the cottage as we know it.
In a size?
Small.
Would the splice top work with the Picasso pants?
Oh yeah. Splice top is great with the Picasso pants. And by the way, that would be really pretty in this. It'd also be pretty in this, and you could use those two combinations because it has the splices up down the top and the sides. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we could find a coordinate to go with this too, if that's something you're interested in. For either pants. I'm kind of looking at this right here. May not be quite right, but you can get a sense that it would be pretty with this tone of blueberry something. I'm off track already, but I just spotted that and thought you can kind of feel the possibility of that color tone. So anyway, if you're interested in this fabric and you know you want to coordinate it with a different color of pants, we can help you with that. And if you want to do a splice, we can come up with something else. Although, when you look at this, I have to say, you could do your splices in one of the stripes, and it would look very different. Or you could run it horizontal in the slices.
Can you explain the Picasso pocket tutorial again? Where can they find that?
That when you order the Picasso pants, either print or digital, that tutorial will be in your account.
No matter if you purchased it today or you purchased it
No matter whether you
before.
purchased it today or you purchased it 2 years ago.
Would you make a cottage in a double gauze?
Absolutely. Let me go back to the, we will, for the next week, this, I hope I'm going to say this right, the cottage, the Picasso pocket technique, that will always be attached to the Picasso pants. But if you want that technique for something else, we will be selling that tutorial in another week or so as a standalone short tutorial. Am I right about that? I think I just made that up and we're going to be doing that.
At this point, you are correct. Does the actual pocket piece come with the tutorial?
Yes.
Yes.
The pattern piece for the pocket is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Woo! That was a lot.
Wrap it up.
So I want to thank Samantha for coming. She's also going to be helping with So Kansas. And Alex for coming. We're all here to support all the people that are going to walk in the door here in a few hours. So thank you so much for checking in with us again. And if you're watching it today, great. If you're watching it later on, hello. So we'll see you next week.